Well, good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your November the 20th Spiritual Principle a Day in a Meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. Looking forward to spending this moment with you. The title of the meditation is Humor as a Practice of Surrender. One of the gifts of recovery is regaining our sense of humor. That comes from the Living Clean book, chapter 7, The Lifelong Practice of Surrender. When we were using, everything was life or death serious. That lifestyle of getting, using, and finding ways and means to get more. Some of us felt like we hadn't laughed for years when we first got to NA. Others of us experienced plenty of laughter out there, directed right at us. You're so thin-skinned, our mates would mock us. Get a sense of humor. While actual events of our using history stay the same, our relationship to them evolves as we grow in recovery. We see fellow NA members finding humor in their past, and we begin to lighten up about the darkness in ours. Our step work reveals a long list of defects that still affect us today. And being able finally to laugh at ourselves as we act out on that shortcoming, yet again, is a strategy that can help us to not beat ourselves up and to be okay with where we are right now. Humor becomes a way we identify, connect, and express empathy and forgiveness for others as well as ourselves. Humor is a practice of surrender. For many of us, humor can also be a hazard. It's a strategy we may use to escape our feelings or avoid being real in our relationships. We sometimes use it to put people down, including ourselves. Self-deprecating humor has a place, but self-ridicule breeds self-doubt. Some of us use humor to survive out there, but in recovery, we aren't living in that life or death cycle. As we become more aware of these issues through working our program and receiving input from our sponsor and others we trust, our relationship to humor may shift. Ideally, the sense of humor we gain in recovery becomes less self-pitying, protective, or aggressive than the one we came in with. And we can finally breathe because we don't take ourselves quite as seriously as we used to. I will try to surrender to levity today. I can laugh at myself without putting myself down and do the same for my fellow addict with love, sensitivity, and wit, if I have a bit of that. Balance. It's talking about balance. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Please and thank you. What a powerful meditation, talking about humor as a practice of surrender. This topic is important because I think sometimes what happens, or what happened to me, is that I was so used to being a comedian, right? And a lot of the things that I was joking about or making fun about were very self-deprecating at the very least. And I did it oftentimes to make room for failure, right? Self-ridicule breeds self-doubt, right? So I was making room for my weaknesses, making room for the things that I knew that I couldn't shine in. And I remember someone, I don't remember who exactly, it's been a number of people, but I remember the first time that it ever happened, as far as someone saying to me, "And what's funny about that? Why do you keep putting yourself down?" And I was like, oh my goodness. They're telling the truth, but I was more like, oh my goodness, I've been found out. Now they know I really don't care for myself. Now they know that I have all this self-doubt. And I was ashamed or embarrassed. I want to say more embarrassed that the individual had the awareness to see through my laughter, see through my sense of humor. Today, I appreciate this meditation because it says that it changes. The things that we laugh at, the way that we look at our weaknesses, it changes over a period of time. It says ideally the sense of humor we gain in recovery becomes less self-pitying, protective, or aggressive than the one we came in with. And I can say that today. No, I'm not saying that I don't have a quirky sense of humor and that sometimes it's twisted. I'm not saying that. But I see less of the sense of humor that I had when I first came in, which was quick to put myself down, make a joke out of it, and also quick to put other people down. That has changed so much for me. It's not the same as it used to be. And I want to make sure that you know that the same thing can change for you. We do this one day at a time, keeping in mind that everything is not as funny as we think it is. And if we're using other people to prop ourselves up and making a joke out of them, that's not okay. But it's also not okay if we do it to ourselves. So today we move forward with this meditation in a spirit of humility and remembering that everything is not as funny as it seems. And sometimes laughing can be that shield or that barrier or that mask that we're wearing. You know, one of my boys, he said recently, I wonder why so-and-so does that. They laugh at everything and they know it's not even funny. He said it's probably nervousness, like a nervous laughter. I said, there's been times you guys have gotten in trouble and I went to correct you and you just kind of smiled and broke into a laugh. And I knew that you weren't laughing at the situation. I knew that you were nervous about what I was about to say. I said, so it's called nervous laughter. And so even we are learning that our sense of humor evolves with our spiritual development, or at least that it should. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you have a day full of balance, sense of humor. Enjoy your day. Have the best day on purpose that you can possibly have. I intend to. Talk to you soon.